Hello, everyone, and welcome to English with Nassrin. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to create a Google form. And before I actually do that, I just want to show you an example of a Google form that I did with my students after they actually watched a short video, animated video. And I wanted them to answer a few questions about the video that they have seen. So this is what your students will get to see and what they would get to work with. I'm just going to scroll down towards the end and show you. So this is what the students will get to work with and see. And if I show you, this is what the students get to see. If I show you what I get to see after they do it, I could see that, for example, where I could edit and make changes, of course, to the form that I have created, I could see how many have responded here with responses, and I could edit or change or copy it and use it again. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how you could create something similar to this. So what I'm going to do is first you need to have a Gmail account. Make sure you do have a Gmail account. And if I go to my drive, and in order to get here, you just click on the 9 dots that you have here on the right side of the screen, and you click on drive, and that would automatically get you to this page. So once you're there, you need to click on New, and you select the option of Google Forms. Now, once you click on Google Forms, you would automatically get to this page, this purple page, where you could create a similar activity to the activity that I have done and share it with your students through a link or through Google Classroom or any medium that you're using with your students. It's very, very easy to create and do. So let me walk you through the process. The first thing you need to do is you need to give your activity a title. So if for example, I'm teaching about grammar, if I'm teaching about a short speaking activity or something they have done in class and you want them to perform a certain activity as feedback after they have done it in class, then it could be absolutely relevant for any goal that you set in mind. So in this case, I'm just going to do a short activity where I'm going to copy what I earlier did here, this activity, the present, and just show you how I created a variety of different questions and how you could do it yourselves. So I'm going to go back here to the untitled document, and I'm going to just call it the present because it's the name of the short clip that my students are going to watch and perform. And again, if I go back, you could see here that this is the short description where you could type in a short description of what you want your students to do. So I'm just going to copy and paste it here. And then once you have given a title and you have given, a description of what your students are going to do, you could actually start working with the interactive Google form that you want to share with your students. Now, once I go down here and as I'm moving the mouse, you could see that again here, I have 6 dots here. That means that I could also drag it, I could move it around. If I type more questions, for example, if I click here, I could see that it automatically opens up another box where I could add another question. I can drag and move them and or reorder them according to the order that I want. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to start with the first question. And I usually recommend that the first thing you do, the first question you have, is you ask your students to write their name. And why I'm saying this is because once you get responses from your students, you don't really know who did what, and you just get the responses but you don't know which student or who did what. So it's better to start your Google form with the question of asking them to type in their name, and in order for them to type in their name, I select the option from the various options that I have here. I select short answer, and with this the students could actually type in their name. Now, there's something else that I really need to mention here is that you need to click here on required, because if you do not do that, the students could submit their work without adding in their name. So once you click on required, they cannot submit their work without having typed in their name. Okay, so if I click on the plus button, I get another box where I could add a question. Now, if I go back to the example, the form that I shared with you before, I'm going to show you the next question that I did is watch the short movie and answer the questions below. So I'm just going to copy that. And I'm going to show you how you could insert a video. So if I click here, okay, I type in the question, and then I don't want them to answer something. I'm just going to add a video. So I click here. You see here you have plus, you could add text, you could add an image, but I'm going to add a video. So I click on video, and then it directs me to YouTube, and I'm just going to write the present and see what comes up. Okay, so you get different videos for the present. And if I click on one of them, okay, like this, and I click on select, then I get to add that video. So I'm just going to click on this one. And here you have, for example, official. So I'm going to go with this one and select. Once I do that, the video is inserted. Okay, so the video is inserted and my students could relate to the question about the video. So this is the title. I'm just going to give it a title, the present, and the students get to watch it. And if I scroll down here, I get to start with, the questions. So I just want to note that here, if I want to change the movie and I don't want to use it, then I could just, delete it and then add another video I want. Okay, so I'm going to start with the questions about the video, and let's see what I had for the first question after they watched the video. So the first thing I had is I watched the video and I want my students to select either yes or no. So I'm just going to go back and add that, but let me just cut and paste this here right next to the present where it's the name of the short movie. And again, I click here and I write the question. Here I watched the video. So I'm just going to copy and paste it here. And then I want to give my students options to either select yes or no. So I click on multiple choice where they have to click select one answer. So once I do that, I see that I get here the options where I could add an option that I want my students to select. So I'm just going to select yes, or they're going to select no. And once I've done that, again, I want to remind you that I need to click on required, or else the students could submit the file without answering this question. Then I just click on the plus button here, and I get, again, another box opens up for me to ask a question. So if I go back and I see the next question, I inserted an image. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I did that. So I go back and I click here, I write picture 1, and I'm going to insert an image. Now, I'm not going to select multiple choice or anything else. I'm just going to go to images. And I could either upload or I could look through Google. Okay, and I could look through different places I want, but I'm just going to browse on my computer and I'm going to select from my desktop. I'm just going to select from my desktop. Okay, I'm just going to type the present because it's saved in a file on my desktop, and I could see that I can get to all the images that I could select from, and this is the image that I'm going to work with first. And once I click on that, it's there and it's uploaded to the worksheet that I'm going to share with my students, or the Google form I'm going to share with my students. So okay, I'm just gonna move this down because I want the question to be beneath the picture. And again, in order to do this, you just click on the 6 dots and you could drag it up or down wherever you want. And I'm gonna give it a title, picture 1, And I'm going to start by asking the questions about picture 1. Okay, so the first question I ask, and let me go back to the first one I did, the first Google form, is what is the boy doing? Okay, so this is the first question. I'm just going to copy that and paste it here. And in order for my students to answer this question, they need a space to write text. So here, that is not possible because here I selected multiple choice, so I need to change that. And I just write short answer or select, sorry, short answer. And my students get to type in a short answer. And again, I remind you, I click on required. And in order for me to add the next question, I click on plus and I add the next question. Now to go back and see what the next question was. The next question is, okay, where is the boy? Okay, so the next question is, where is the boy? And this is related to question the picture 1, the image that I selected, and I'm just gonna paste that. And if I look at the picture, I could see that the student or the boy is in the living room. So I want to give my students options of choosing either the word or the word with an image, and I usually like to add images. It makes it more, fun. So I'm just going to add the options. For example, I could see living room. And if I click on image here, I want an image of living room. So I usually go to Google search here or Google image and I click write living room. And I usually write cartoon because they are more friendly to students. And then I choose an image that is relevant for my students. Okay, let's go with, let's see, this one seems quite clear and I could click on insert and it shows the student that this is the living room. And then I could write, for example, kitchen. And again, I click on the image here and I could go to Google image search and write kitchen, cartoon. Okay, I'm just going to type that. And again, a lot of images pop up. So I'm just going to go with an image of a kitchen. So this might seem like a clear one. And again, insert. And I'm going to select to have them look at another option where I'm going to have bedroom. And again, I click on image. And I go to Google image search. And let's just write bedroom, cartoon image. And there you go. So I get to select another image that is relevant to the word bedroom. And let's add just one more and type in the word bathroom. And again, I select an image from Google Images and I write bathroom, cartoon. And I could select an image of bathroom that is relevant for my students. I'm going to go with this one. And there you go. So these are the options that my students are going to choose from. And if I click here again, required, they have to answer the question. Now we're moving on to the next question. I'm just going to click on plus. And again, another box is added here. So let's go back to the questions that I already did before. And I start with another picture. So I'm just going to add the second picture. But before I do that, I need to go to images and I'm going to browse. And again, I get to the pictures that I have on my computer and picture number 2. And let's add that question there. Sorry, that image, not question, that image there. Okay, and I'm going to give it a title, picture 2. And then I'm going to add a question or more for picture 2. Let's go back to the Google form that I have created before. And the first question I have below it is look at the picture and tick the correct sentences. So this is the question. I'm just going to copy it and show you how you could do this option as well. And if I go back, I could see that here I have chosen check boxes. Okay, so I need to make sure that I select that option and I'm just going to copy the answers, and again I select checkboxes and I add the first one in option number 1, and then I go back and I'm going to select copy the other one, the other answer, and paste it, and then copy the other answer and paste it, and another answer and paste it, and the final answer. And okay, actually this was the last one, and there you go. So these are the options that students could select from. And again, if I added one by mistake and I only wanted 4, I just click on X and it removes that option that I do not want. And I could always add the option other. For example, if none of these options were correct, then the student could add another answer. So I'm just going to click on remove because I don't want that option, and again required because I do want my students to perform that task. Okay, so let's add another question, and if I go back to Google Forms and I scroll down, the next question starts with another image for picture 3. So again, I click on add image, I go to my computer and I select image number 3 and I insert that image and add a question. Okay, so there you go. And let's just give it the title picture 3. Okay, and I'm going to add a question, and let's see what the question was about this picture. If I scroll down, it says, how does the boy feel? Why? Okay, and in the video, of course, they see more into how the boy feels and how he reacts when he sees the dog and why he reacts in that manner, and they could add their answer. Now, in this case, I want them to write a longer answer, so I won't go with short answer. I would rather go with paragraph, where I want them to explain and elaborate. So I click on paragraph, and I don't forget to make sure that they are required. I change it to required, where they are required to answer that question. And I'm going to add another box with another question. And if I go back, I have the next question is about another image. So again, I go to images, add image, I go to my computer and I select image number 4 and I insert it and I create and write a question about that image. So let me just write picture 4 and let's just add a question about picture 4. And the question is, let's just go back to the one I did before. Okay, it's about prepositions. So the dog is, and they need to choose the correct preposition for this question. And I do want multiple choice, so I'm going to keep it with that. And I write the options on, under, next to, in, or let's see one more, behind. Okay, so these are the options that my students could select from. And then I just click on required. Okay, now I'm going to add another box for another question. And if I scroll down, I have the final question, which is, do you think the dog and the boy are going to be good friends? Why? Okay, so again, I'm going to copy that question and I go back and I type in that question or just paste it. And I want to select the option of paragraph. Okay, and then my students could answer that question. Now, I would like to state the fact that I have not went through all of them, but you might want to have a look at all of them, and they are really, really nice to work with. For example, if I click on file upload, they might, for example, you might have a question like draw an image or a picture of the relationship the dog and the boy might have in the future, and you might ask them to upload their work. Drop down, for example, is something that you might want to use. Let me just actually do that here, and I could change this into drop down, for example, and then they would have to, instead of click the correct answer, that it would open up in a different way. And I'll show you in a minute what it looks like. And again, if I click on the other options, you could also see that you have a variety of things like, for example, linear scale, multiple choice grid, and you could also, you have a checkbox grid, date and time if necessary, like if you want them to add what time they did it, and date is also a possibility, but I'm not going to add it to the short Google form that I have created right now, but it's definitely something that you could have a look at and use if you find necessary. Now, okay, so I think I've come towards the end of the planning of my Google form. Let me just here. Okay, so as soon as I click here, it gives me the title that I have typed in here. And now this is okay, what I'm working with as a teacher, right? This is the I can't share with them this link that is here because they could edit and make changes. So the link that you would like to share with your students is you could do it in both ways. You could do it here, for example, and click on share. You could share it with your students through here, but I would rather do it through clicking here on preview. And once I click on preview, I get to see the Google form in a form or way of how my students would actually get to see it. So I'm just gonna have a look at it and make sure that it follows everything I have planned. Okay, so they add the name here, they watch the video, they have to watch the video, yes or no, and these are the questions, and you could see that the red star right next to the question shows that they can't submit unless they perform this question. So this is what my students get to see, and you could see here that I have a question named option, and I don't want that, so I go back to the worksheet that I had prepared, and I'm just going to delete that. Okay, so let's just find it. You could see here, I don't want it, so I'm just going to click on delete. And again, I click on the eye symbol here and it opens up. Let me just scroll down and make sure everything falls in place and everything's correct. Again, I have another question where I added an option and I didn't type in a question. I'm going to go back and delete it. Here it is. So let's just delete it. And let me scroll down towards the end. Again, here, let's just delete it and scroll down. Yes, I think now it's ready. Just to make sure, again, preview my final Google form doc. And this is what my students get to see. Okay, and I share with them this link. Okay, I could share it through Google Classroom or in any means I want through email, and they could get to perform the task. So I usually do it through Google Classroom, and they get to perform the task. And once they have done it, I could actually get to see the responses. So if I go back to the original one that I did here, the one with before, I could see that I have 9 responses. That means that 9 students have performed the task, and I get to see their answers, what they typed, what they wrote, and in a very organized manner. And I could also click on view responses in sheets where it's more organized, and I could see exactly what time each one of them did it and what answers they have. So this is basically it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video and that you find it useful and something you would like to try. And thank you for watching.